anyway made lower profits. People think real estate has made enormous profits. If you look at RBI's housing index for the past 10 years, the average rise in property prices has been between 4.5% and 5%. So if the middle class is invested in property, that is below 11% return, so indexation is going to harm you. The current GST regime is irrational and iniquitous. There is 18% GST levied on life insurance and medical insurance products. The Honorable MOS Finance yesterday on Monday told this House that the government has collected 8,263 crores as GST on health insurance for the fiscal year 23-24 alone. This is blood money. Our Honorable Chief Minister Mamata Banerjee wrote a letter to the Finance Minister, to the Centre, pointing out that this is a completely anti-people tax. What is life insurance? What is health insurance? It is people guaranteeing and spending money and protecting against life's uncertainties, against accident, against injury, against ill health, against death. What are you doing? You are imposing GST, same rate that a billionaire pays, the poorest middle class person has to pay. So people are deterred from taking out new policies. People are deterred from continuing existing insurance. This should be removed at the earliest. Now let me now move on to what affects more than 70% of Indian citizens, social sector allocations. The general trend over the past decade, in every budget in the last 10 years, of which our Honorable Finance Minister has presented 7, has been in nominal terms, you have allocated more money to the social sector. But if you account for inflation and you look at real allocations, inflation adjusted, allocations have seen reductions of over 25% in the past 10 years. I'm going to look at real allocations, that is adjusted for inflation, for some major schemes in the past 10 years. Sarva Shiksha Abhijan, minus 18%. Rashtriya Madhyamik Shiksha Abhiyan, minus 9%. ICDS, which affects every child, it's a school scheme, minus 34%. Mission Anganwadi, minus 5%. PM Poshan, minus 45%. PMGSY, those of us who have rural areas, the Pradhan Mantri Gram Sadak Yojana scheme, minus 47% reduction in real terms. The National Social Assistance Program, minus 20%. The combined expenditure on 5 social schemes, the top 5 social schemes as a percentage of GST, of GDP, has declined from a peak of 0.93%, so almost 1% of GDP in 2009-10. Do you know where it is today in 23-24? It is 0.36%. It is only a third of what it was in 9-10. The Manrega budget during COVID, when the centre was telling all the states, please give employment to the labourers, they are going back. The Manrega budget in 2021 was 0.6% of GDP. Do you know what it is today? 0.26%. No, shame. Specific budget figures for 24-25 are shameful. Specific figures, let's look at the specific figures. The allocation for Samarth, which is maternity entitlement and the creche scheme, has been reduced by 70 crores compared to budget estimates of last year. The budget for the National Social Assistance Program, for again those of us with rural areas, you know how important this is. This is what gives social security pensions to the elderly, to single women, to disabled. This is unchanged from last year at 9,652 crores. 9,600 crores, same as last year, no adjustment for inflation. The central contribution to social security pensions has been unchanged since 2014. It was 200 rupees in 2014. It is still 200 rupees per person today. The price of the cutlets in the parliamentary canteen in the last 10 years have been adjusted for inflation with the government's approval. The price of the cutlets in the parliamentary canteen have more than doubled. But when it comes to giving social security for the poorest of the poor, it is still 200 rupees in the last 10 years, no change. This budget's allocation, there is no room for higher salaries for Anganwadi workers. Their salaries have been unchanged since 2018. No room for higher honorarium for midday meal cooks. You have to understand a lot of the women in villages depend on only Anganwadi sectors and midday meal sectors for any source of employment. There has been no higher allocation for supplementary nutrition given to children. The National Food Security Act, the NAFSA, mandates coverage of 67% of the population through PDS. The Prime Minister has very proudly proclaimed that this is a food surplus country. Fine. Then why have we not increased the population covered under rations? Since 2011, you have not had a census. Since you have not had a census, you have not increased the number of people being covered under rations. Also, one very important question. Why is the central government blatantly defying the directions of the Supreme Court? We went to the Supreme Court on the migrant workers case. The Supreme Court gave an order, a direct order to the central government, that the central government is to give rations to 8 crore migrant workers of the unorganized sector who have been left out of the food security net. The last hearing was on 16 July 2024. Court again said that you have to please give money to the states which have issued additional cards, ration cards. But there's no room in the budget for this. There is no allocation. In this rush to protect its own chair, the government is making a very dangerous mistake, which is it's not giving enough to protect our borders. Military experts have repeatedly warned us that India's military capability has to be modernized because we are fighting on 2 fronts. One is against China, we need a dissuasive deterrent. Against Pakistan, we need an offensive deterrent. The budgetary allocation for defense in this budget is 6.22 lakh.